Hello everyone and welcome to the Unreal Engine 4 tutorial series on how to make a third-person shooter gun system. We have did this till the HUD system, so yeah, our HUD is working absolutely fine. So what we need now? We need a weapon wheel so that we can toggle between using weapon wheel. So let's create a weapon wheel. Okay, so in the settings, in the project settings, we need an input. I'm gonna call it a weapon wheel, which uses a button of Q. Alright, so in my player character, the third person player character, okay, let's add that weapon wheel action mapping. So when I press, I want to create a weapon wheel UI, and when I release, I want to remove it. So for that, let's create a function called weapon wheel open. Right, and for this I need an input of a boolean called can open. Okay, so if it's true, if can open, then we want to follow this part, otherwise the false part. So let's call out these functions. Yes, for the pressed button I want to open. I hit compile. Yes, hit compile. And for the close part, I don't want to open it. Hit can open to true in the pressed part, and for the release I don't want to open it. Alright, so we need a weapon wheel UI so that we can toggle it on and off. So let's create a UI, a widget user interface, widget blueprint. Call it weapon wheel UI. Okay, so for the weapon wheel UI, what we need a border, and let's make this border to cover whole area. Make this and offset to 0 0. Hit compile and say, now this looks white. I don't need this to be white. This to be something called dark. So yeah, we need that effect of, yeah, we are opening a weapon wheel. So I will import some materials, this and this. This is our arrow which pointed out which is our current weapon. Now if you open this up, you can see a background which is black and white color, but I need this black and transparent color, not the white. If you have something called white color, you can simply just open this border, and in the brush you can add that whatever, but I have the problem with this texture, so let's remove the white color from it. So I will simply create a material, and obviously my material is a user interface material, so my domain would be a user interface. You don't need to do this all if you have a perfect texture for it. I don't have, this is why I am creating this. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to minus the color I want to remove. So I want to remove the black color from it. So vector parameter or constant vector, okay, whatever. So black color from it. This would be go to the final color, and obviously I need to remove the translucency. So this is why this blend mode should be a translucent, so that I can have this opacity. But we have removed the black color, so it will have this center color white. So what I will do, I will get the inverse of it. So 1 minus, so I will get the inverse of it. Apply and save. Okay, so in the border I will use that border ww background, yes, this one. Hit compile, save. Alright, we don't need this material anymore. In the third person, this function weapon will open. If it's true, Then I want to create a widget. The widget would be the weapon wheel widget. Let's promote it to a variable in case we need it. Weapon wheel widget, and we want to add it to the viewport. Add to viewport. When we remove, I want to remove this weapon wheel widget. So grab this weapon wheel and remove from the parent, and then I want to set it to null because yeah, we have removed that. So let's check it out. So if I hit Q, I can toggle between on and off. The problem is it does not look so good, the background. So let's play around with this guy. Okay, so the brush color would be black with the alpha is 0.9. Okay, let's check out this color which is not perfect. A 0.8, 0.7, 0.7. Okay, all right, I am happy with this. So as you can see, I'm toggling between on and off. All right, what I need now, so I need that slow motion effect. So when I toggle on and off, I need to slow down. So set global dilation, time dilation, yeah. So I need to be 0.2 of it. So the time dilation would be 0.2 of the 1 second, and in here make some room here because we need this variable until we do certain things. So set global time dilation to 1 when we remove it. Hit play. So yeah, if I hit Q, I am slowing down. Alright, so we have done these two things. Okay, what we need now, let's create this weapon wheel first, then we will do other things. So we need a size box, and I'm gonna call it wheel. Okay, so the perfect position and the size I get for my size box is at the 700, 700. Why I can't find this size box, and this guy to 0000. Okay, all right. All right, so what I need now, let's set this to center. All right, it is working. It's center. Do I need anything? No, everything is fine. Let's make this to in the canvas panel, and the anchor point should be something called right. Yes, in this, so I can move around with this. Make this size to content, so whatever the size of it, it will change. Okay, so 0.5 comma 0.5 is my pivot, and this should be from the left side of it. If you want to make it the center, make sure the anchor is center, but the game we are replicating, the weapon wheel is something called in the right side. The position I get best is -500 comma 0. Okay, so this is our size box, which don't look so good, but okay. What we need now, so inside our size box we need an overlay so that we can add more than one items over one another. All right, and inside that we need another size box, so that if anything happens to our player's gun image, it won't differ from this size. So best I got was 300 comma 100, and inside here I simply need an image. I'm gonna call it melee weapon or melee slot, let's say melee slot. Alright, so the size of it would be in here. Compile and save. I will control W to duplicate that. A second size would be in here, and also I think the pivots are not good. X-axis pivots. Alright, next what I need to do, I need this transform to change. How much in here? So we have the minus 150 because we are setting it to 300 of the canvas size, 300 the width. So this would be middle, should be minus 150. Hit compile, save. We need two more, right? Control W, Control W. This was for the right and the center. Translation would be 150. Alright, and we need a last that should be in the bottom of it, a bottom of it. Alright, I don't think this looks so good. 200 comma 150, not 200, 300, but y-axis should be 150. No, 150 is not so good. 120, I'm happy with this 120, and let's check out 250. Alright, 300 would fine. 120 and 300. Same with this, this, and this. 120. Alright. Let's check out by just playing around. So yeah, it is working correct. Now what I need to set my player's weapons based on this weapon wheel. So on the graph, on the event construct, I will simply cast to my player character a third person shooter, third person character with this one. Let's get the player character at index 0 player character. Let's promote this guy to variable in case we need it. A player reference, because the main thing we need is that weapon system component. Weapon system component. Get that weapon system component, and let's promote this guy to a variable. Weapon component. Alright. So we have our weapon component. What we need? We need a center point of this UI of your player screen to your mouse location at every tick, and based on that rotation we will select our weapons. So from the center point of it to your mouse tick. So let's get the center point of it. Okay, so let's create a function called get weapon wheel center. Okay, now for different screen, obviously you have different viewport size, but you can get viewport size, and based on this viewport size we will do the center point. So whatever the viewport size is, if you divide it by 2, 2, you will get the x and y coordinates of the center point. So this would be a weapon wheel center. So let's promote it to variable. I'm gonna call it weapon wheel center. All right. Now what? We need another function so that we can get the rotation respective to the mouse. So let's create a function called get rotation respective to mouse. Alright. So based on this rotation, we will select our weapons. So we have this weapon wheel center point. If you right click, you can split out this and you can get x and y coordinates of it. So I need this weapon wheel center and my mouse. So how do you gonna get our mouse? So yes, get player controller, because all the mouse events are in the player controller. Player controller, yeah, this one. And from this player controller, get the mouse position. Get mouse position, just this one. So yeah, we have location x and y. So I'm gonna make vector from this because we need a vector quantity. Make vector. Same things, I want to make a vector from this as well. So make a vector. Vector 3. Alright. X and y would go to here. And obviously our widget is a 2D, so we don't need the z axis. However, the yaw should be in here. So from the center point to our this vector, I want to get that rotation. So I will find a look at rotation. So it will get a rotation from the middle point to wherever our this one is, our mouse. We have the location, we have the rotation, but obviously we are doing from xy coordinates. So if you have ever learned the vector algebra, if you find a rotation from xy axis, the rotation will get from the z axis. So the third one would be the rotation. So this is my rotation. So I'm gonna promote this guy to variable and I'm gonna call it angle from mouse. Alright, promote, set. If you want to set offset, you can set it, but we will do the debugging, and based on that debugging we will set the offset. Alright, now for setting the offset, how do you gonna do that? Let's first just return a node and we will return this value. Yes, the angle. Alright, it compiles. Okay, so we have done this thing. What we need to do now in the event graph? First, let's make some room here. In the event graph, let's first calculate that center. So get the weapon wheel center in the construct. In the event tick, what we want to do? We want to get this rotation every single tick, and let's just print a string of that location or rotation in degrees. So hit play. If you hit Q, as you can see, also my player is also moving, but I don't want this player to move. So what you will do in the event graph, not the weapon graph, in the event graph, this one, you can see this mouse input. Yes, this one, which is setting the mouse input. I want to set this mouse input only and only if my weapon wheel is not spawned. So I will convert it to validate it, and I am sure that this is a hard object, not a soft. So if it's not valid, then I want to get this. I will control W to get that. So for the axis up and down, I want to do the set. For the not valid, I will get this. Okay, so now if I hit Q, you can see my mouse is not moving when I am in the weapon wheel mode, but if I'm close, my mouse is moving. Alright, then let's, for the debugging purpose, show the get the player controller and show mouse cursor. This is just for debugging purpose, you don't have to do that. Alright, so as you can see, my mouse is at the top, but it is showing -90, but at the top I think it should be 0, so that I get the better offset of it. So at here it should be 0, not -90. So we have to increment +90 in it, so that we get the exact same location. So I will simply offset it to +90 and hit play. So now in here it is 0 at the center point of it, obviously, so my ticks are working fine. Now what I need to do, let's make that arrow in the center. So I will add that image in my overlay. Let's call it F2 arrow. Now let's make it a center. Compile, so minimize it. So I have this arrow, but it is black and white color. I only need this white color. So same way I will create a material. Okay, the domain would be the user interface and translucent. So what I need arrow color, but also I don't need that black color, so I will simply subtract that black color, factory parameter, and this one should go in here. So I only get this white color of the arrow. Close this up. Okay, in here ww arrow 500 comma 500. Nope. How much? 300 comma 300. Alright, 300 comma 300 will work fine, I guess. Now what I need to do, I need to set the arrow based on this rotation. So we have this arrow, right? This arrow is this one, this arrow. I have this made a variable, and what I will do, I will set render angle. I have this render angle, yes, this one. Alright, and the angle should be this one. So let's check it out if its our arrow is moving or not. Yes, as you can see, my arrow is moving based on my mouse cursor. Yes, it is. Now for the bigger part, what we need, we simply need to set based on the location. So let's create a function called angle is between minimum and maximum. Angle is between min and max. So we need to provide 3 inputs of a float type, because our angle is in the float. First is our angle, second one is a minimum value of it, and third one is a maximum value of it, right? So if my angle is greater than this minimum and less than my maximum, if this and this both are true, and then yeah, our condition is satisfied, yeah, this is between our minimum and maximum value, I will return, and this should be returned this one, yeah, true or false, true or false. Let's return it to success. Alright, and what I need to do, I simply need to call out this function every time I get. So in my event graph we are doing this. Alright, If you remembered in the third person character, the function we are using was this one, equip weapon, and based on this, so we need this enumeration, simple. So what I will do, I will create a variable and I'm gonna call it weapon input, whatever you want. This would be e underscore weapon input enum. All right, which would be yes, this one. So based on this weapon input enum, we will set. So let's create a function called select item based on angle. Select item based on angle. So obviously we need an input angle so that we can select it. Okay, so input, we add input, call input or whatever, and we're gonna call out that function called angle is between minimum and maximum. Now you can see this is not a pure function, but we know that this will always gonna execute and return us something, because it is not dependent to anything. So click on this function and make this a pure function, because we know that this will always gonna execute, right? And based on this success, if it's true, I want to set that enumeration, this enumeration. Alright, so go in the designer. We know that this is our 0 degree. So this should be our minus 45 and this should be our plus 45. So for the 4 slots, 360 divided by 4, which equal to 90. So minus 45 to plus 45, which is a total angle of a 90 degree. So we need this 90 degree. So the minimum should be minus 45, maximum should be plus 45. Now what? If it's true, then I want to set this to a milli slot, because the this top slot is a milli slot. Okay, this one is my secondary slot. So let's name it to secondary. This one is my pistol slot, and this one is my primary slot. You can go with whatever you want. Alright. If it falls, then what I need to do, hit branch and Ctrl W to duplicate that. Delete it. We have just duplicated twice. If it falls, then we want to check for 45 to 125. 45 to 125. So 45 is this angle and 125 is this angle, right? And this angle would go to simply this in. If it's true, Ctrl W to duplicate that, and I want to set this one to a pistol also. So now you have idea what I'm trying to do here. So I will Ctrl W for 2 times more for a pistol holes, for a primary and secondary. So this would be my primary holster and this should be my secondary slot. The angle should be in get in, control this get in. This in is an input parameter of the function. This in is here, this one, this in. So if you don't want to just connect it, you can call out that. Alright, for the primary slot, 125 to how much? 225, because 125 plus 90, which 225, I guess. I'm not sure. Or 135. Oh, 1 second. This should be 135, not 125, because plus 45 and and this minimum would be obviously a 45. Hit compile, save. So minus 45 to plus 45, then plus 45 to 135, then 135 to 225. We are simply adding plus 90 plus 90 degrees to everything. Now for this one, if you play in this, we get minus values of it. So we need to do two types of things. The first thing is it is less than minus 135 and minus 45, because minus 135 is minimum than this one, this is less. And also if it's good job you to do that. Also if this is greater than 225, and let's add 90 degrees to this. So 225 plus 90, and then we will do 315, and then we will do the OR boolean, because our rotation is getting from this and this, so we need this both. So if it's true between any of this, then we want to set this secondary. So if you have 8 of slots, then you can divide it to 8 parts. So as you can see, this is between these two. Okay, we have setted this. Now what? We need only one thing. We don't need anything. Let's close this up. Okay, now what? We have done till now. So we need a new function called a set input. Do we need or not? We actually setted that input, right? We don't need this function. We actually have setted. So we don't need this guy. We need that get rotation. No, get select item based on the angle. The angle is this one. Hit compile and save. Right. Now what? Let's simply just select the items. Okay, so in the weapon wheel open, we have this variable called weapon input. So what you can do, you can simply call out this input function, and that's it. So we have our weapon equip function, this one, weapon equip, and we need this input, and we have that in our weapon wheel. So what we will do, before removing this, we will get weapon input, which is this one, weapon input, and we simply gonna call out this equip weapon function. So when we remove, we have to call out this. Okay, so let's check out if it's working or not. Okay, so as you can see, my pistol with this. So if I go in here, I want to open this. If I want to go here, I want to open this. If I go here, I want to open this. Alright. So this is working as it should. Now what we have done everything. We don't need anything. We just have to bind this. So let's just create a binding. Weapon component, primary holsters. We can create that. I don't want to create it like I will simply create a binding. Alright. So get that weapon component. This is a binding for a melee slot. So get a melee holster. First I want to check if it has any weapon or not. Yes, so if it's valid, if it has any weapon, then I will get a weapon structure, and I will break out, and I need that item image. I am gonna simply make the brush. If you have followed the HUD part, you know, make a brush from the texture, and this would go to here. Not this one. Oh, what I'm doing. Alright, not this one. Well, I can't. Yes, I can. Yes, the return value would go to here. Same thing you have to do for every single time. This one. For this is our pistol also, right? So what I will do, I will simply get weapon component, get the pistol, then I am checking if we have any pistol in our pistol holster or not, is valid. If we have any pistol holster, then I want to set same thing, get the weapon structure, break out, get that image and make a brush, and this should be go into the return value. Compile, let's hide all the unconnected pins. If you want to make more, like adding the current M1 whatever, you can do that. This is our pistol primary slot, not a pistol. Okay. Same thing, get the weapon component and get the primary holster. First we will check if we have any weapon or not, then get the weapon structure. Alright, and break out, and then make a brush from it, make a brush, and this should go to the return value. Alright, so we have done this, and this is our secondary. So let's create a binding. You can do that, but like in here you can do this one, but the problem with this is we are not checking the is valid in here, so it will access a none value. This is why I have created a binding. So get a secondary, and if it's valid, not as visible, if it's valid, is valid, then and then I want to do this one. So alright, get a weapon system component, weapon structure, breakout, and make a brush from it, make a brush from the texture, and this brush would go to the return value, and I will simply hide all the unconnected pins. Compile, save, and let's check it out. So yeah, right now I don't have any weapons. Hit E, 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 E. Yes, I have the weapons. If I in here, so yeah, I have the weapons and I can toggle it. Alright, we don't need this weapon will, where it was, this one. We don't need this show mouse cursor. Alright, hit play. So alright, I don't have any weapons. If I open up this one, this is in here, it is in here. Alright, so we have done till this, and we only need we don't need anything else. We need that opacity. Let's add that opacity. So I will create a function so that it will show that yeah, we have selected this one, so this opacity should be something much more good. So set opacity based on selection. Alright, and let's call out every single tick. The opacity should be, we have, yes, this millislot, so set opacity. And this opacity would be select. So based on our weapon input, it will select. So let's say if it's our weapon input is a milli slots, then 1. Otherwise we gonna do that, so you don't have to change it here. For the pistol slot, same thing, set the opacity. Okay, hit a select, and based on this weapon input we're gonna select it. So if it's a pistol slot, then 1, otherwise nothing. Primary slot, set opacity and do the selection. So if it's a primary slot, where it was this, then 1, otherwise. For the secondary slot, set the opacity to the select. If it's secondary slots, then 1, otherwise. Now for the secondary slot it will change everything to 0, but we don't need that. We want to change everything to 0.7, which I found something called better. None and sheath, we don't need that. Alright, for this one the secondary slot is 0.7. Alright, let's check it out. Hit Q. Nope, this is not working. Okay, yes, we have to change the 0.7 every 0.7. Hit Q. Exactly. So 0.7 for the primary, 0.7 for the secondary, and 0.7 for the milli slot. Same here, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7. Let's check it out this one. So alright, yeah, this is working. Okay, now we have done till this. If you want to make that, where it was, in the get weapon brush, if it's not valid, then what you can do, so you can simply return a value. Yes, and make a brush from the texture, and brush is nothing, brush is none. So when you don't have any weapon, it is not setting to anyone, but if you have a weapon, these are milli slot, right, it will set a weapon. So you can do this for all the things, but we have done this. Okay, so this is all for it now. In the next video we will do the weapon pickups, the ammo pickups, and if you have the same gun, it will not pick up, rather than that it will pick up the ammo from it. And so this is all for it now. So thank you so much guys for watching, and bye bye.